So I understand the fault of my last comment, but I mean, that was just like one of my things.
Okay.
But I wanted, do you know about the ramifications that you guys are doing with what you, when you guys talk about copyright? Like copyright used to be just about the regulation of publishing, and then went from the regulation of copying, and then now like you're affecting, it affects derivative works. And like it used to be, copyright was just 14 years, and now it's like for existing works, it's like for the life of the artist plus 7 years, and then Sonny Bono wanted to make it forever minus a year. So I mean, this copying is choking. I mean, this copyright, the way it's talked about now, chokes our culture and the way that we interact with our culture.
I think you will see changes in this. First of all, the length of time of copyright is not an issue that I'm, in a position to talk about. That is.
Does copyright really need to be forever?
There is certainly the argument originally that's not what it was intended for. But there's also
Well, you say it protects the artist, but doesn't it just
it protects
kill creativity?
Yes and no, because there are legitimate ways to create derivative works if you're willing to pay everybody involved. And until now, the system was not designed for that. So how do you pay somebody when you do a mashup? But I believe that in the future there will be ways.
Like with Creative Commons and their like sets of other different copyrights you can apply for. Because right now, when someone makes some music on YouTube, there's only one copyright they get. Maybe they do want to share their music with other people, but they're going to get sued if they do. Or I'm going to get sued because they may want to make their music and let me mash it up,
right.
But their copyright only doesn't allow them that.
That's right. And if when they secure their rights, people were not securing digital rights in the 70s because there was no digital distribution. In the late 70s, when they realized that music might be distributed over satellite, they changed from anywhere in this country to anywhere in this world, anywhere in this universe in legal contracts, because people realized that if it was outside orbiting the Earth, maybe that would be a loophole. In the same way, that people will start securing those rights for redistribution when they sign up. And we're in a period of transition. You'll see the media companies see an opportunity for user-generated content, simply because there's a demand for it. Everybody knows there's a demand for it, and nobody wants to lose out. But it's going to take a while for the companies contractually and for the legal system to deal with it.
So did you say there's room for you guys to work with us and just offer different copyrights to the artists? So it's not a
I think it will evolve, but it will take a long time. Copyright laws do not change quickly. That's the sad part of it.
Question back here. It pains me a little to say something that might help you, but okay. So I'm a graduate student. I study psychology, legal theory, and things like that. And one of the things that I think is also relevant for the people here who may work for IT is, in the news recently, there's been the talks of the settlement offers and your organization's newest tactic of kind of asking universities to just pass along a offer of settlement, without going through the normal legals, filing, subpoenas and things like that.
Yeah.
It seems to me that is an extremely controversial thing, and universities have responded with mixed results. I know Nebraska wants to charge you for it. Wisconsin said no way. A couple other places said no, and the responses, at least that I've gathered from the media, is that you're really encouraging this sort of thing. And I wonder the extent to which, I can tell you that there's a wide body of research that says that the extent to which people will respect an organization, a person, the government, is the extent to which they're seen as legitimate. And I wonder if this, by kind of skirting around the legal subpoena process, you're making your organization seem less legitimate, and regardless of how illegal the activity you're trying to stop is, if you're actually hurting your own cause by trying to do this pre-settlement kind of thing and not following the legal procedure like you're asking all of us to do.
Okay. We can just look at what's happening in reality. The lawsuits are filed. Retention notices are sent to the university. Please hold your records. We have an IP address. We don't know the individual user. It's a dynamic IP address, perhaps. Okay. So a retention notice goes out. And then a notice goes out and says, please pass this to the user And if they choose to contact us before we file a John Doe and a subpoena and move forward with a lawsuit, perhaps we can settle this more quickly for less hassle, less money. Their name will not appear on public record. If they go to work for the government and find out that they've been sued for copyright infringement, and they spent their whole, they spent 6 years at university and graduate school getting ready to go work for the CIA or FBI or whatever, and now they can't get that job. I mean, there are practical reasons why this may not be in the worst interest of students, and I don't think that offer the ability to settle, because we have not taken anything away from the alleged infringer. It's still going to go through the process. We'll serve a subpoena. We'll find out who they are. And there'll be a lawsuit. And if they choose to ignore it, it doesn't change the process. It is giving them an additional option. We know the results of the previous lawsuits, and we know that they have been settled and that people paid us. And we're confident that that's not going to change. The nature of the infringement hasn't changed. So I don't see that we're taking anything away from the accused.
I was more concerned with you taking away your own, at least the perception, because I'm a psychologist, so I look at the perception and how your organization is seen, and I wonder if that tactic might...
No, I mean, people who want to paint us in a bad light, I mean, come on, they just look at the room. We're always going to try and find some argument. But I don't think that we are skirting the legal issues or circumventing them or anything else, because we are giving them an additional option and taking nothing away. That's my personal opinion.
Got a question here.
Thank you. Just my first thing is just to clarify. You said the law is the same whether a person downloads 1 or 100 songs. When the person has downloaded 100 instead of 1, is the fine not greater, or is it's just like a flat fee? Tell me about what.
It all depends. There are different kinds of lawsuits, and
Okay.
this is not something that I want to get into today because it's not what I'm going to talk. But there are basically two ways. You can sue them based on the number of infringements, or you can base them on the estimated monetary damages. There are different ways to go. But the fact of the matter is, for these somewhat automated processes, as soon as it is determined that we have a copyright infringement that we are confident about, and using the technologies that we've been using now, we have had no false positives. It doesn't matter. We move forward. Now, there are certain pre-release scenarios that you've read about where somebody is making something before it's in the stores, and the kind of economic impact there is significantly greater. And FBI and other people get involved in those cases. Those are not what we're talking about.
And also, I know some people would argue with you on that no false positives thing. I mean, there have been cases that we've seen in the media where, like some grandma's getting sued for something like her little kids have done, or people who have said they've never downloaded anything in their life.
But what I'm saying is that on the technology of identifying infringing works that we have now is very comfortable.
So just your newest iteration of the software or whatever you're using, you feel is good.
Right.
Okay.
Well, before we go to a lawsuit, as a general rule, it's already been through a hash, been through a fingerprint as a human. Is probably at the record company that owns that particular copyright has probably listened to it.